So I had some FSBOs lined up that I was planning on dialing yesterday anyway. I dialed the very first one, gave him the FSBO script, and we're meeting today at noon.
Can you share that script?
Yes.
Well, it was common sense script. If I brought you a buyer, would you be willing to pay a commission? And it was in a bold room, right? So it's loud. And he's like, well, come by between 1 and 3. And I said, oh, you'll pay between 1 and 3%? And he goes, no, come by between 1 and 3. I'm like, oh, okay. So, well, if I come by and my buyer likes it, would you pay a commission? And he goes, 1%. And then, we're talking about, how it's been going for him selling the house, and all this other stuff. And I gave him the whole NAR stat. And I said, I'd love to share with you my marketing plan, see what we can do to get your home on the MLS and possibly get you some more money. And he goes, well, yeah, that's fine. I'm seeing everybody come by between 1 and 3. And I said, today's Halloween and I'm spending the afternoon with my daughter. I said, that time is important to me. Can I schedule an appointment tomorrow at noon? And he said, yeah, that's fine. So, two things, protected my time, protected what's important to me, and obviously set boundaries there, but also, got kind of an exclusive appointment with him. Oh, he also goes, you're like the 30th realtor to call me. And I said, well, whether I'm the 30th or the 90th, I said, I'm giving you an opportunity to work with number one. And he kind of chuckled.
I like that.
The tie to that is out of 21,000 realtors in the area, only 30 of them are working today.
Right.
A little bit of cocky confidence goes a long way.
Regardless, it was a mirrored match. He was being cocky too. So
there you go. Mirror and match. It's how you bend. Sorry about the internet kerfuffle, guys. I don't know what's going on. So I'm in the same spot that I make 90% of my calls if I'm not at the office. And for some reason, the internet's just not working. And I have full service. So I turned my phone off and restarted it. So I'm connected to the McDonald's Wi-Fi, which seems to be a little bit better.
Have you had coleslaw recently?
No, I'm actually staying away from it. I hear that it's harmful to my friends.
Okay, just checking.
For those of you who don't know, yeah, for you guys who don't know, Jalen is terrified of coleslaw.
Terrified is not a word I'm gonna get a shirt that says boycott coleslaw.
I don't blame you. I think it's
Right. Well, it's Wednesday. I want to hear from you. What conversations, topics, or objections do you want to work on today? Because I believe it's important that we have these type of conversations, that we can work on the objection handling, the scripting, and the mindset conversation-wise. Let's go. We already heard from Jim on his for sale by owner helping out. Eric said coleslaw should never be slandered. It's not slander if it's true, Eric.
I don't know if this is an objection, but that appointment that I landed for today at 2:30.
Yes.
Between the time frame of Saturday to now, he stopped responding. So should I start just like prepping my day as if I'm not having this appointment, prep it as I am having my appointment? I called and left a voicemail yesterday evening as well. I texted every day. No response, or to me or even my lender as well. So I'm just cutting my losses and moving forward with it. And then if they call me go ahead.
Yeah, not a loss. Opportunity for long-term nurture. Don't ever think that something's a loss. It just becomes a different nurture type.
Mm-hmm.
Prep your day as if they're going to show up randomly, still want to have it, but try to confirm. But have a plan B in place to take up that time if they don't. Because one thing is you'll have the ability to prep and be ready for a buyer consultation. So at least it's practice in doing that. And secondly, if they show up, which I've had them do that, they've ghosted me, not called me back, not done anything, and all of a sudden they're there. So it actually happened to me on Sunday.
Okay.
So, sorry, Saturday morning. So prep it there.
All right.
One thing we can do when we're setting our appointments for a little bit further out in the future is let's set up some opportunities. Like, Jalen, I understand that our appointment's going to be 5 or 6 days away. Can you foresee anything that would potentially keep you from being able to make that appointment?
Not that I can think of right now.
Fantastic. Hey, if something does change, I want you to know that we stay pretty flexible. So just let me know. And if something changes on my end, I'll let you know. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's awesome. I've never heard that before. So
Right. Can you foresee anything happening that will cause you to not be able to make it?
write that down.
And it sets that thing out there. Because what it also does, it triggers the subconscious brain to go, okay, what else is potentially scheduled for that time frame? And then allows them the human grace of saying, you know what, things happen. If they do, just let me know and we'll readjust. And I'll do the same thing on my end. Do you believe that people are evil?
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, okay. Well, hard lives. But they're not. They're really not. People don't want to be malicious, and they feel like if they cancel on you, it's painful. It's malicious. So it's easier for them just not to show up, not to tell you. It's also a cowardice because people don't like to be confrontational. So give them an easy out. Hey, thank you so much for setting some time with me next week at 3:00 on Wednesday. I look forward to meeting you and your wife. What email you want me to send that to? You want me to text you the confirmation? And before we get going, could you see anything that might stop you from being able to make that day at that time? And if they're instantly like, no, we're good. They know their schedule. But if they hesitate, they're like, well, maybe my son's school. Hey, you know what? Things happen. And if we can't make that time work, we can be flexible. Just let me know. And if anything happens on my end, I'll do the same. Sound good? Great. I'll see you Wednesday, 3:00 at the office. Next dynamic. We've talked about east-west and north-south timing. Some of you haven't been on the call in a while to hear that. What I mean by east-west and north-south is north-south timing is on the hours and half hours, 3:00, 3:30, 4:00. East-west is on the 15s, 3:15, 4:45, 5:15, so on and so forth. Now think back to all the doctors and dentist appointments you've ever had. When do they typically schedule them?
15.
Anyone else remember the 15s? There's something psychologically more important about a meeting on the 15 than there is on the 30s or the hours. Eric, let's get together tomorrow at 4. In Eric's brain, he hears 4-ish. Maybe. But Eric, let's get together tomorrow at 4:15. It's a very set time. So one little trick you can do while setting appointments is set them on the east-west principle. When someone says, hey, Vidarsi, let's get together tomorrow at 3, you're like, well, you know what? I have something right at 3:00. I'm still tightening up. Let's make it 3:15. And it's just moving them forward that extra 15 minutes or moving it backwards. Jack, looks like I'm finishing up right before that. And I would hate for you to be waiting on me. So why don't we make it 2:45? Busy is a good thing, right? A busy restaurant means a restaurant that people like. A busy agent is an agent that people like. I don't care if your day is butt empty. Like you got nothing going on. It's like the coleslaw stash in Jalen's fridge. Not in there. You move your appointment just that little bit up or backwards. It'll anchor a time in their brain. So who wants to give it a shot? Who wants to set an appointment with me?
Okay.
Let's do it, Jalen.
Hey, Dan, it looks like our next step is to get together and talk about our future and finding the perfect home for you. So I'm looking at my schedule. How does next week sound?
Next week's tough, man.
Okay. All right. What about today then?
Actually, today would work.
Awesome. To early this morning or later in the afternoon?
Oh, I got time this afternoon.
All right. Well, how does 2:15 sound?
Can we do 3?
I got something going on at 2:45 that's going to bleed into 3. So what about 3:15?
Actually, no, 3:15 works.
Awesome. I can't wait to see you then. If anything changes, please let me know and I'll do the same for you. Does it sound fair?
Sounds fair.
Awesome. What do you like to drink? Coffee? Do you like coffee or
Coleslaw?
coleslaw? Actually, I'm gonna have to cancel. All right.
All right. How did he do, guys? Was it good for a first round?
You did great.
Yeah.
Really good. Jalen hit everything.
Yeah, really good for a first round for sure.
Oh, don't be afraid to pull the appointment back to right now. If you got nothing going on, actually, I had a cancel. Always make it something more. I had a cancellation this morning. Why don't we get together now? This happened yesterday. True to life story. I got an electrician coming over to one of the Airbnbs. We're putting an electrical line to put a heater on. So he calls me yesterday, says, "Hey, I'm back in town. When can we get together?" I set the appointment. It's actually for today at 3:00. I was like, "It's the only time I have open." And then I'm driving to the property yesterday. I didn't think I was going there. And on my way there, I call him up and said, "Hey, something happened. It's bringing me to the property today. Are you available to meet right now?" He goes, "Well, I'm putting in a main breaker. Let me see what I can get there." 38 minutes later, he showed up. And it saves me a buttload of time because now I don't have to drive over there again tomorrow, or today, which is out of my way. And I'm the consumer, and I was the one that changed the appointment to a closer date. Don't be afraid to ask for sooner. Some people have time. So great job of moving it back. Next week's kind of difficult. What about today? I love it. All right, Jalen, pick the next one.
Eric.
All right, Eric. Get Jalen to set an appointment with you. Jalen, be difficult.
All right.
Well, Jalen, it's been great talking with you, man. I think our next step is meeting in person and going over everything that we discussed today in more detail. Let me ask you, are you available today to get that done?
Actually, I'm feeling kind of sick, and I don't want to, spread that. So I'm not sure how long that'll last.
Okay, no worries then, Jalen. Look, let's give it the weekend. What does your work schedule look like? Are you Monday through Friday?
Yeah, I'm usually Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
8 to 5. Okay, so then we can do it in the afternoon. How about Tuesday next week at 5:15?
Oh, that's like right after. I don't know if I'll be able to get off of work that soon.
What's a good time for you after work, Jalen? Enough time to get over to where we gotta go.
I don't know if it's too late, but like anything after 6, honestly.
6? Perfect. Well, then let's do Tuesday at 6:15 if you're still feeling up to it. How does that sound?
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Absolutely. Well, then I'll meet you at the Starbucks right outside on Ina and La Cañada at 6:15 on Tuesday.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Jalen.
Right.
I'll talk to you soon then, man. I forgot to in case that it doesn't go through, give him the leeway.
All right. Backtrack it. Let's hit it in there.
All right.
Okay.
If for some reason that time doesn't work for you, Jalen, at on Tuesday at 6:15, or you're still feeling under the weather, just go ahead and give me a text or a courtesy call, just letting me know what happens, and I'll do that on my end as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Sounds good.
Did I make that too easy?
A little bit. It's okay though. But one thing is, I happen to know there isn't a Starbucks at Ina and La Cañada. So
I think there is, isn't there? Isn't there?
Well, there will be one soon, right? That you gotta think that way.
Orange Grove. That's what you're thinking of.
That's what it is. Orange Grove.
I wouldn't know that because I'm new.
I don't think
and it's
Orange Grove.
And it's La Cholla. Orange Grove and La Cholla.
No, it's La Cañada in Ina. I swear, I think it is. It's next to the Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's
Oracle
and Ina.
Yeah, Oracle and Ina.
Oracle and Ina. Oracle.
Yeah, I actually had to go.
So
I actually know where that one is.
In Tucson, for those of you who aren't in Tucson, Eric just mistaked a highway for a road.
Sounds like a realtor.
Yeah.
All right. Back on track here. Appointment setting is what we do. Everything. I loved how Jalen said, "You know what, Dan? It seems like the next step for us is to get together and discuss our future." Two things in that. He's leading in the conversation to what is the next step. The next step is that we get together. Now, I use the word appointment in my explanation of things, but I hate using the word appointment in a conversation with a consumer because appointment itself is a negative term. People hear it and they freak out. Appointment. But if you say stuff like, "Let's get together, let's spend some time, let's get, face to face, let's meet," all of these things are different than appointment. But then he threw the 3-letter word in there that ties it together. Our. Let's talk about our future together. We're going to work together. It's creating this future of us working together. I don't know if he did it consciously, but it came out perfectly. Sometimes unconscious competence means we're doing things the right way without knowing we're doing them. So working on that it's not bad that you're doing it right. It's just I want you to know what's working and what's not so you can adjust. So great job setting up the next step, creating a relationship in the conversation, and then moving into the appointment set. Because after all, every conversation we have, our job is to move it to the next logical progression. And for me, it's English class. So
One of our coaches, Dan, mentioned calling it whenever we get together a strategy session. And I
Love
kind of
that.
like that, and I'd like to incorporate because even what you just said, like our next step would be, hey, get together for a strategy session, and we can talk about our future or something like that. You could put it all together.
Yeah, put it all together. And if you struggle with getting rid of the word appointment, write down different ways of putting it. Right now, you have 6 different ways that we talked about. I love that, Mara. This strategy session.
Or visit. We could visit.
Mara, it really sounds like it'd be awesome to work together. The next step for us is to get together and kind of have a strategy session and plan how we are going to attack the market and help you get your home sold. What works best for you this week or next week? And then go down the path.
Lupita's autopilot confirmed all the appointments we just made, by the way.
Yeah, we
That's
confirmed
awesome.
my name is spelled wrong also.
I stopped deleting them out of the call just because it's just too much work for me. And sometimes I should check the emails because I'm pretty sure it rewrites most of the things we say and puts it in a script format.
Probably pretty funny.
All right. Appointments. Are they hard to set?
No.
Okay. Other than Jim.
Yes.
Okay. We got truth there, right? We talked about yesterday the fear. Why are they hard to set, Eric?
Lack of script practice.
Is it just not being able to ask for them, or is it the
Fear of rejection.
okay? Back to fear.
A fear. I guess it could be another like a. I don't know. I'm at 21 open houses, and I've seen so many opportunities to set appointments, and I realized myself that they themselves have a bit of apprehension, not just towards me, but just walking into the door. You can cut it with a butter knife. You can feel it, and navigating that for me has been difficult, and I'm kind of pushing myself to test each boundary each time I see somebody come in, and case by case, obviously.
Do tightrope walkers learn on a thin string to start with? They learn on a beam, and then the beam gets progressively smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it's a string. You have to learn your footing, and that it's going to require some stumbling and falling. So pushing boundaries, pushing yourself to have these more advanced conversations, but you will start to identify and realize in conversations where people's sticking points are. And as Mara has put it in the past, you'll hear your inner Big Dan go, attack this, say this, question this. But it pushes you into a way that normally you would just kind of back off and let a conversation naturally fizzle. Instead, you ask another question, or you reframe the position you're in, which could be physically changing your body position, changing your orientation to the person, or your tonality, and shift it higher, lower, slower, faster to evolve your conversations. A great book to help you understand how people are communicating around you is I'm Surrounded by Idiots. It was a reference to me by Amanda Clark. I told her a book called Taking Flight, but Surrounded by Idiots is a great book on understanding the different 4 types of human behavior. It's written by Thomas Erickson, I believe. Leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. We have to learn and develop. None of you on this call are exempt from the title leader. Because do you not lead people through the process of buying and selling properties? And if I'm going to choose somebody to lead me through unseen territory or unfamiliar territory or something I haven't done a million times, what do you think are some of the characteristics of the person I need?
Leadership.
Right? I need someone that's got a leadership that'll allow me to follow them. Do I have to be able to trust their ability?
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust somebody that's frantic? If a firefighter ran into the house and screamed at the top of their lung, oh my God, the building's on fire, run for your lives, probably would not be very effective, and there wouldn't be nearly as many calendars sold.
However, what do? Hey, don't worry, get low, follow me. I got this. We're gonna get you home safe. We're gonna get you out of here.
Dan, can I ask about a script real quick?
Yes, please.
Did everybody get the notification that NAR and the whatever law case that they have found NAR liable and for, you know, like $1 billion? So if people ask us in the future about commission, which I know I did warn Audra, Dan, when you were on, to just not say, well, commissions are this, but to say I charge this, make sure it's personal. But just, you know, people may want to know about that. So do you have a thing that, because they're like, hey, are things changing right away? And NAR is telling us no, they're not changing right away. But
What I've noticed is the realtors that are really freaking out about that are the ones that aren't comfortable getting buyer broker agreements.
We are moving into a different environment, a challenging environment where you're going to have more skill sets in your conversation and having the ability to push a little bit more.
Really honing in your value proposition too.
Why would someone choose you? What do you bring? That's a tough question. So my challenge question for you today is to answer this is, who are you to the market? Who do you want to be? Take some time to pontificate around that, spend 15 or 20 minutes and brain map it. Write down little sentences or words that help describe who you are to the market, who you want to be. And if you're not in alignment with who you want to be, we can change some things and help you evolve and adapt and grow. But then you can start building your USP, which is your unique selling proposition. What makes you valuable? Because after all, you're all value, except for Jay Lynn, because he doesn't like coleslaw.
And you know what? I'll fall on that sword. I'll take it to the grave.
To the grave. I'm kidding. Jay Lynn's just as valuable, coleslaw and all. Well, guys, it is 8:30. It is time for you to go out there and do some greatness. If you did not see in the chat log, Anthony was texting with someone, and there was a great retort back and forth. That was a simple, you know, appointment set. When you're good, it's that easy. So let's get after it again tomorrow, shall we?
Yep.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Big high five. Slow down.